So, Assalamu alaikum everybody. Today we have Umar from the nationality of Palestine in Qatar, and we are here to gather his perspective on road civilian routes. So, Umar, uh, are you? Shall we start?
Yeah, sure.
So, Umar, how would you describe the overall effectiveness of the current road laws in your current country in ensuring safety and efficiency?
Okay. So, Bakr, the road laws in Qatar and generally speaking, in maybe similarly in other GCC countries are a bit strict. So fines are imposed. Speed cameras are there controlling the road speeds everywhere. There are strict laws on the parking as well. The parking areas, you cannot just park randomly. You will get fined if you do that.
Yes.
So I think road safety, generally speaking, in Qatar, road safety is good, and the road rules are clear mostly for everyone, and it's what you can call, I think, a safe road environment generally. The roads are wide. They're properly labeled. You have you have clear signs. They're clean. So as an infrastructure, it's good. And the from the legal point of view for the roads itself, the roads are equally modern and as well. And in addition to being modern, new, the laws and regulations are clear, I think, and not really they're strict, but really they're not kind of something you can do. You can drive, generally speaking, easily in Qatar following the rules.
Yes,
In
sure.
Pakistan,
Thank you.
you have several regions. In bigger countries, you have districts. In Qatar, I think it's a smaller country compared to Pakistan, for example. So you typically have almost one region, right? So there is no across regions different rules or different laws. The same laws apply for the whole country. So I would say you can consider it. You can consider the laws fair, being distributed evenly among wherever you go in the country.
So, Umar, do you think the penalties
Hello.
and for traffic violations in your country are appropriate, too strict, or too lenient? Can you give an example?
In what way? Sorry, again, too lenient or too strict? Is that the question?
Yes.
So, see, traffic fines in Qatar are considered high. There are some areas that can be a little bit better. The speed cameras, for example, start at a 500 Qatar riyal. If you pay them early, they are halved, so you pay half of that. If you pay early, if you pay within the first 30 days of the fine, you get a discount on the payment. So that makes your violation a little less damaging. I think the fines on the speeding are normal for the region. I think it's high in the other countries as well, but it's I think it's easy to say that the road signs are clear for people to know what the speed cameras are at and to follow. And for those who go beyond the speed limits, there are kind of tiers. So if you go by 10 kilometers extra, you pay something. If you go 20 kilometers extra, you pay more, and so on and so forth. The higher your speed above the speed limit becomes the fine becomes higher in value, and I think that makes sense as well. Traffic fines in Qatar are considered high. There are some areas that can be a little bit better. The speed cameras, for example, start at a 500 Qatar riyal. If you pay them early, they are halved, so you pay half of that. If you pay early, if you pay within the first 30 days of the fine, you get a discount on the payment. So that makes your violation a little less damaging. I think the fines on the speeding are normal for the region. I think it's high in the other countries as well, but I think it's easy to say that the road signs are clear for people to know what the speed cameras are at and to follow. And for those who go beyond the speed limits, there are kind of tiers. So if you go by 10 kilometers extra, you pay something. If you go 20 kilometers extra, you pay more, and so on and so forth. The higher your speed above the speed limit
So, Umar,
becomes.
how do you feel about the role enforcement officers focus on the right priorities to enforce the laws?
So I think, generally speaking, here you don't get enforcements from like the police law enforcement officers. I think the rules are there, the speed cameras are there. There are some other newly added mobile and seatbelt cameras. So those are all, I would say, automated tools to enable the law enforcement. Most likely, you see as officers, you see them, roaming around, but they would usually enforce wrong illegal parkings on the side of the road and things like that. So their role is, I would say, confined to a specific set. You don't get them to do the whole law enforcement.
All right. And Umar, are there specific traffic laws in your country that you think are outdated or unnecessary, and what changes would you propose to them?
So see here in Qatar, one of the problems we see on the road is tailgating, which has no specific, doesn't have to see, maybe, but I don't see it enforced. Maybe it's there, maybe it's not. But I don't see an enforcement of tailgating, which is a safety risk. I always think that there should be a fine for tailgating and maybe an automation of this through the same cameras that are used for mobile cameras or things like that. This will help greatly in reducing accidents and increasing the health and road safety for the people on the road.
So, Umar, this tailgating you say, have you ever heard from any of your friends about this tailgating?
Yeah, you will hear around it so much in Qatar from other people. It happens a lot, so it's a quite common, I would say, action that happens on the road that needs to be improved or stopped. I think the only way to do that is by having uh, a specific fine or law, clear legal, action on that, which I don't see. I don't hear. Or I didn't see much about, to be honest.
Mm. Oh. And Umar, do you think your country's road system is designed in a way that supports safe and efficient transportation?
Yes, it does. I think the road infra here is really good. Over the years, they've been several highways. They've removed from most places. They removed the roundabouts. They moved we have highways that have no traffic lights. This all improves the transportation. I think safety as well, because generally speaking, roads in Qatar are wide. As I told you earlier, they're clearly marked. You have clear signs. So I think it's pretty good, to be honest.
And Umar, I think would be my last question. After this, you're
Yeah.
free to go.
Thank you.
Uh, Umar, what role do you think road laws in your country play in reducing and increasing road-related corruption?
I don't think this is relevant here. There is
So,
nothing. There is nothing. There is nothing such as I would say road-related corruption. I mean, in this, I think where you mean by this is some
this is
bribery that
something
happens. Yeah,
that often happens in Pakistan. So, I added
yeah,
it in this
like a
question.
bribery thing on the traffic fines or
Yes, yes,
something.
yes.
No, this is nothing non-existent here. I don't think this applies here.
Okay. So, Umar, do you think road laws in your country consider the economic realities of all citizens, like vehicle regulations and access to public transport?
Can you repeat it, please?
I'm asking, do you think road laws in your country consider the economic realities of all citizens, like vehicle
Well,
regulations or access
yeah,
to public transport?
let's talk about this first part. So when we say for example, if the fines apply to all citizens, right? If I
Yes,
get it correctly. So people, professionals like us, have those fines. They are expensive, but we can pay them. But for some of those, the delivery app drivers, how much do they get? If he does a fine a month, his half salary is gone, for example.
yes.
So, so on that part, but what was the solution for this? Make the fines cheaper for them so they do more fines? I mean, but that's a problem. That's really a problem.
But
I
I
I've
think
I,
I think it's something that the drivers themselves should consider. Considering their salaries, I think it is something that they themselves should consider.
yeah, so basically, I think anyone who goes on the road should have the understanding that he should not go beyond the law or do fines.
Yes,
I
exactly.
because
I meant
even if I do a fine mistakenly or unknowingly, it just gets, you get hurt because why am I spending this money for what, right? So we just have to be conscious and careful not to do those fines, and that's it. I think
yes
this is.
because yes, because laws are laws for everybody. I don't think it should be specifically changed for someone depending on the economic relationship. For example, if you break the law, somebody could lose their life or get hurt in the process.
Yeah.
So I don't think there should be a lesser penalty for them depending on the economic reality. I think it should just depend on the situation in which the accident or situation happened.
Yeah, I agree. Yes.
Okay, thank you much. Jazakallah.
Thank you, Bakr. Good luck.
Allah Hafiz.
Thank you. Take care. Assalamu
Thank
alaikum.
you. Jazakallah. Allah Hafiz.